So this channel, aside from being the host of one of the best business podcasts in the world, it's also kind of like my journal. I use it a lot of times to share things that I would otherwise write notes about and get key takeaways from. But instead I leverage technology to share it across the world. And that's really how we've built this community here. But in today's video in particular, I want to share with you a thread that I came across on Twitter by Benjamin Smith, who is the CEO and founder of Disco, which is a pretty cool men's skincare brand. But in this thread, he talks about how they only launched 2 years ago and scaled to 8 figures with only 5 employees. So right away, that resonated with me because I love the idea of building massive companies with a small team. That's my goal. I'm trying to make my company like the Straw Hat Pirates in One Piece, where it's basically a tight group of people like a family and we conquer the world together. But in this thread, he shares 4 key philosophies that you and I can use to do the same. So let's go through it. So he goes on to say, there's one hidden factor that'll determine your company's growth: culture. But what is culture? It's the values, norms, systems, and activities that make up your company. Here are the 5 key culture components we used to take Disco to 8 figures. Not micromanaging. It's crucial to give freedom to work without creating too many restrictions. This empowers team members to make their own decisions. It builds trust, it creates accountability, it encourages innovation, relinquish more responsibility to have fewer problems. Not punishing mistakes. Creating the environments that punish mistakes creates defensiveness. And when you're defensive, you set a hostile tone within the business, including feedback on how to improve. If you want to create a culture that encourages growth, embrace mistakes. I actually like that because I've always been a fan of the idea of failing fast and just, moving on from your mistakes instead of really like beating yourself up about it or beating others up about it. Not blaming others. When you make mistakes, it's natural to blame others instead of taking responsibility. Creating a mission the entire team feels responsible for makes every challenge a team effort. That means putting aside egos, not pointing fingers, and taking ownership. Create a bias towards action. When challenges arise, it's important to have a simple default framework to follow. 1. Identify a problem. 2. Reflect on the handful of viable solutions. And 3. Pursue the solution with the simplest execution required and thus highest chance of success. That's a pretty good one. I'm also a big fan of just executing ideas quickly. Teams procrastinate and overthink by trying to come up with the perfect solution. We're not always correct in our solution choice, but executing with high degrees of conviction are 10x more effective because this builds net positive momentum. The underlying theme of all these principles: extreme ownership. Placing trust and accountability in your team doesn't just give them responsibility for themselves. They take responsibility for the company's mission. Mistakes become lessons. The team's wins become theirs. Special thank you to Jocko Willink, who I believe is the other founder, for helping guide the formation of our company's culture. Our underlying company principles and this thread were heavily inspired by his guiding philosophy. The 4 philosophies we used to scale our company to 8 figures with only 5 employees. 1. No micromanaging. 2. Not punishing mistakes. 3. Not blaming others. And 4. Being biased towards action. Got value from this thread? Retweet the first tweet to help others. So I will do that because this thread was fire. So shout out Benjamin. I'll leave the thread link in the description so that you can go ahead and follow him. But that's about it. Hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you guys in my next one. Peace.